Well, it doesn't matter because it's episode 3 time. This is Jay, your host. I'm joined by Neil.
Good evening, everyone.
And Will.
That's me.
And this is Who Invited Will. And today on our episode, we have a special guest who's going to come do some stand-up for us. First, we're going to kind of get started and just make sure he's ready. But Will, Neil, what's going on in your worlds? How have you been?
I've been fine.
Will's already killing it.
Quarantine's been going very well for Will, it seems like. I started watching some shows. I'm not a big Netflix guy, but I started trying to catch up on some shows. You guys have any good ones that you recommend, or?
I mean, The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentaries, those are pretty dope.
Yeah, but that's ESPN, Jay. Did you not hear what I said?
No,
I
actually wasn't listening.
Netflix shows. I haven't watched the MJ stuff.
HBO Go has Westworld that I've been wanting to get into. The season 3?
Yeah.
Disney has the Negotiator.
Disney Plus?
Disney Plus has what's it called? It's not called The Negotiator.
Will, I don't know. Will you
Boba Fett?
This is riveting. The Mandalorian. Yeah, that came out 2 years ago.
That's close though. Negotiator.
Hey, there's this awesome show, Nick. It's called The Twilight Zone. Have you ever heard of it? No. Really good.
Also,
Breaking Bad, dude. Have you ever heard of Breaking Bad? It's this awesome new show.
Amazon Prime, Neil. That also has the Inside Jokes, which is really good.
That is a good documentary. Do you know what that one's about?
I don't have Amazon Prime.
Really?
It was a joke, Neil. You said you wanted Netflix, and we're giving you all these other platforms.
All of your ideas have been so bad. I just kind of gave up on
what's
them.
wrong with Will today? Why? Yeah. Will's in a mood. You look a little sunburned, Will. You sunburned?
Yeah, I think I can mute him, can I? Like if he starts getting out of hand. Oh, yeah, I can.
No. It's too much power.
You may have to use that later in the show. I actually been watching this good show on Netflix. It's called Dirty Money. Have you guys seen this show?
No.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it though.
It is awesome. There's an episode, I think it's episode 6 on season 1, talking about Donald Trump. Like everyone says, like, oh yeah, Donald Trump is this con artist and everything like that, but I didn't know to what extent he actually meant that.
That's funny.
It's unbelievable.
He like never paid anybody who's ever worked for him. He's like, it's like that's the extent of the stuff he's basically done.
It's so
many bankruptcies.
I can't believe that most of the country thinks he's like a very successful real estate investor.
Because he had a TV show, and everyone's like, that seems successful.
Speaking of the TV show, you know the producers of The Apprentice? That was all supposed to be a joke. Like that whole it was supposed to be like a humor show, like a comedy. And then people started taking it seriously, like, oh, that's real. Wow, that's actually wow.
This is how business works?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That's funny.
There's that, and then
is that just one episode?
There's a lot. I think there's 6 every season. There's 2 seasons. There's a Trump University. Do you guys know anything about this Trump University?
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, I graduated from Trump University. That's where I got all my broadcast. I graduated in podcast broadcasting. Actually, that's where I got all my.
That's
skills.
an expensive degree, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. You paid.
It was like the for-profit online colleges that then people were getting like nursing degrees, and it doesn't even like it's not even a thing.
They weren't even giving people classes. Will like they literally just took like 30,000. They said they assigned somebody a mentor. Who they said, Donald said that he recruited the mentors, and then they brought in one of the mentors, and his resume was a complete lie. Like, complete. Like, they're like, so it says here you lived in California. Like, yeah, I lived in California. He's like, and the guy was like, we have no record of you living in California at all. He's like, I have no comment for that right now.
They're like, we say your name's John. He's like, but your name's actually never been listed as John on any document. He's like, I have no comment.
Yeah, the guy is like on his resume he says he's the top 5 investor in the United States, and it's like the guy was like, we don't see any investments that you've made ever. He's like, I'm not prepared to answer that question right now. It's like Donald said he extensively looked at this guy's resume. Like,
it's on Bitcoin.
He's the president, dude. So this is the guy that people have elected, half our country elected to be president of the United States.
half our country minus everyone who doesn't vote minus 2 million people, yes, elected him to be
Still,
president.
that many people think he's a successful businessman. We are so. I thought we were in trouble as a country when this coronavirus started. Now that I know more about Donald, we are absolutely screwed. Especially if he wins again.
I mean, I knew all this. I knew a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I think this is a good time to announce your campaign on the podcast, Neil.
Yeah, since we're talking about presidency,
He doesn't just own one blue shirt that has his name on it. There's a reason he's wearing this every episode.
Yeah, Will actually make. I'm wearing this literally every episode. I don't know if you can tell. I own more than one shirt, but this shirt is so fire.
It is.
Will made it, and the design's awesome. Schneider 2044. I am running for president. I'm a middle class American, hard worker, man of the people. And I'm not going to screw you over like these con artists and con artist politicians that we have. Donald Trump is a joke, and vote for me 2044. If we start now, it's quite possible we may gain some momentum in the next, we got 20 something years. We've got a lot of time. Let's do it together.
24,
Let's send it for the farmers. So that being said,
wait.
Go ahead.
Are you going to hire any lawyers to work on your campaign?
No comment. I'm not prepared to answer that question right now.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I also started watching that you guys watched the Joe Rogan podcast, right?
You've never watched it before?
Yeah.
Never.
Wow.
I watched it for the first time yesterday.
It's huge.
Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, Musk Part 2.
Did you guys see it?
Did he smoke weed on this one?
No, he didn't.
Because the first episode he smoked weed and Tesla's stock went down like 10%.
Have you seen Tesla's stock recently?
Is it gone down?
It's like at all-time highs.
Oh, damn it.
Doesn't it? If it goes over a certain amount, then he gets like this massive payday. The only thing I saw about the podcast,
he's already worth billions of dollars. So
his baby. Did you see? Is the baby's name?
XR2AE as one letter.
A12. It's my favorite plane.
Yeah, dude, him and Grimes. It's like I've never seen two people try harder than them to be cool. Like, dude, like seriously, they are the. Like, oh God, of course. Like, it's just like if you had friends like them, you would never. It's just like, oh, you named your baby a series of letters and numbers. How progressive of you. You know what I mean? It's just like
I can't seem to figure him out. Like, I don't know if he's really just insanely brilliant, and we don't really, or if he's just a phony. But
he's a phony. That's what. That's
not
the
a
answer.
Phony?
Yes, he is a phony.
Then how does he have multiple companies and like Neil's saying, like the Tesla stock's going through the roof?
Well, forget Tesla. Do you think
that has nothing to do with being whether he presents himself in a phony way. None of those things have anything to do with.
Well, are you saying he's a phony person or like a phony businessman?
No, he's a real businessman. Obviously, he doesn't. He just make up the
that's
money.
I thought what you're saying.
I just mean the whole act of like, oh, I'm so eccentric and so brilliant. That's why I act weird. Is because I'm just so brilliant beyond. No, that's an act he puts on to make himself seem like he's some eccentric, brilliant. All those tech billionaires do that.
I mean,
Mark Zuckerberg.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, I was gonna say all those tech billionaires do that, dude. They all put on this act of like, oh, what is coffee? Oh, how strange that the human race drinks this beverage every morning, huh? And then it's a fake act so that they don't get criticized for bad decisions.
I mean, he's got artificial intelligence that he's working on. He's got SpaceX. I mean, he's got 8,000 people working on SpaceX. So I don't know if these are all his generated ideas and he's really running the show, or he has a bunch of brilliant people that are working for him, which I think is the case. But the way he was talking about these chips that they're gonna put into human beings' skulls, you watched it, right?
Yeah.
First 30 minutes of the
I didn't see that.
it's gonna these chips are basically electronic, and they're gonna stimulate your brain and shock your brain. So if you have like brain damage in some way, it's going to be able to fix that brain damage. So if you have, what's the one where you epilepsy, the one where you forget your memory,
Alzheimer's, dementia,
like that. What if he's actually right? Now he's not the first one. I looked it up. He's definitely, people have been trying to shock the brain and do shock therapy on the brain to fix dementia and all these diseases for years now. But supposedly he's got this chip that they're going to insert into skull. It's going to be a procedure, and they're going to be able to have wires that go into your brain.
I'm out. How about
that? He says within 5 to 10 years. Within 5 to 10
Just let me
years.
forget, dude. Just let me forget. I don't
I mean,
understand. If my
yeah.
body wants to forget, just let it all go, dude. You know? No, but seriously, I'm not putting a chip in my fucking skull. How about that, Elon?
I don't
Go
know.
fuck yourself. I don't know. Yeah, Will's gonna. You do it first.
Well, what if you have brain damage? Would you try
What
it?
if the chip gives you brain damage, dude? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah,
But if you
I don't
already
know.
have, if you already have brain damage,
What
you
if
have
the
nothing
little
to do.
regulator of electricity that's supposed to go in your brain accidentally short circuits and then it just electrocutes yourself from the inside? Have you ever thought
But
of
what
that?
if you have
say
brain
this-
damage already?
Yeah, I agree. And what
What kind
about
of brain damage? Like if I'm, you know.
defibrillators and pacemakers? That's something into your heart. So how is that any different than putting something into your brain?
Exactly, and that's what he said in the show. There's other
Oh,
ways
really?
that they've already put electronics into people. We're growing into robots every single day. He was talking about how your phone is almost an attachment to your body.
Would you
If you don't have your phone?
Sorry, I was just gonna say, would you voluntarily get a pacemaker though?
No, but
People
again,
do,
if it
or,
responds with my
Voluntarily?
heart,
People don't get it's not. I just
You're glitching.
listened to, I think it's called The Body by
You're
Bill
glitching
Gates.
out.
Will,
You're sorry,
has
you
a
froze,
chip.
Will.
Will has a chip in
Yeah.
him right now.
Your chip's malfunctioning, Will. You're like.
That I was listening to this audio book, The Body by Bill Bryson, and one thing they were mentioning that people are getting these voluntary surgeries to, I guess, put in heart stents so that you're like less likely to get a heart attack.
Like a
But then
preemptive.
they're finding out that then you're still like it actually increases your chances, or then there all the other risks involved in getting the surgery there. But people are voluntarily doing that. So I don't know. I think people 100%, maybe not me personally, but there's definitely going to people out there that are just going to say, fuck it. And let's do it.
I understand
Yeah.
if you haven't, if
Hey.
you have like an issue, right? But like, I'm talking about the idea of like, oh, just implant your phone into your wrist or something. Like, no, I'm not, unless there's some insane benefit to doing it and everyone else is like pretty much doing it and it's just like a foregone conclusion. But I'm not about getting a chip. What's up?
Guys, I have some good news.
What's that?
Our special guest is here and waiting to join the conversation. So
Oh,
let's go ahead and bring him in.
Should we take a short break, start another
Let's
Zoom?
let's just try it and see what. Let's just try it. I don't have any time. Like it doesn't say we're gonna end the
yeah.
time.
We at least have 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna bring in our guest.
Sounds good.
Let's see if he would get something implanted into him.
Yeah, I'm curious what his thoughts are on the chip thing. Will is all for it. Will's like, chip me up.
Chip me up. I mean,
Oh.
uh-oh.
And we see.
The white door. All right.
Welcome, Casper the Ghost. Oh,
Can you hear us?
we can't. No,
No,
we
not
cannot
yet.
hear you. Can you hear us?
The best
do
part
you
of every
see-
podcast.
Do you see on the left it says mute on the left of your screen?
Join with computer audio.
Oh, I have to join audio too. There
Nice.
we go.
There it is.
The audio.
That
You
would have
can
made
hear
me-
us?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
All right, great. All right.
Okay. All right.
So just a little history about our guest here. He's a high school history teacher. He's a tennis player. He's a Mexican food connoisseur, and he's a personal friend. He's a personal friend of the show. I'd like to
Hello.
introduce Nicholas Lebowitz Salazar, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
Welcome on.
It's Leibowitz, actually. That's what some of the people like to go ahead and call me Lebowitz. I don't really know where that is or where that comes from.
Leibovitz.
Welcome to the
I've
show.
always been- what was that?
He said,
Leibovitz.
welcome to the show. We're excited to have
Thank
you.
you.
We're really excited to listen to your stand-up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've always been told that I was a funny guy, I was going to actually start taking improv classes or comedy classes, stand-up comedy classes, all the above, whatever is offered. And then, the pandemic hit, so I thought that I could just go ahead and venture onto a platform like this where you all can go ahead and see the magic firsthand.
Yeah, we're
I
ready.
actually go ahead and go off into the big world with the big dogs and the
Well,
poison.
it's awesome because Will, I did a couple stand-up open mics before the whole pandemic hit. Will has done some before, so if you want some people to like go to open mics and try stuff out with, we're totally
Love it.
down, dude. Yeah,
Absolutely. I think that would be amazing.
so
They're definitely going to be starting up here pretty soon, I suppose, with all these openings and everything.
Maybe.
This makes me
So
look
you
really
have.
shitty.
I'm
Like,
gonna
I would
bring
never-
disinfectant wipes for the microphone.
Yeah.
When I
You
go
might
on.
do that just between every person going up, wiping it down, or I would think so.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
so,
I don't know how to
Nick,
make
you've
it.
never done any stand-up?
like
I've never done any stand-up.
Oh,
No.
wow. Okay, so this is
First
this
time.
is
Brand new.
exclusive. We got the making of history right here.
The
Awesome.
first
Take me
ever.
down.
And we're glad you came to us first. You didn't go to Joe Rogan first, so we're very appreciative of that.
I don't even know who that is, so what does it matter?
Yeah, exactly. So if you are listening, we're looking for sponsors. So
yeah,
great
another.
place to
Can
start.
your podcast sponsor our podcast?
yeah, we've been plugging your podcast our entire show. So
I can
Yeah,
take.
Will's internet today. You just
Send them over.
What were you saying?
Will
Will?
is a robot.
Oh.
Okay,
I said.
So-
Oh.
go ahead. What did you say, Mr.
I
Robot?
said I can start taking on it supplements.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm glad we waited for that.
Yeah. Woo! Glad we could get that into the show.
ONNIT. That's Joe Rogan supplement company. Nick, are you frozen? Are you?
I'm
no?
not. No,
You're
I
just
was-
you're just very
How
still.
long did it take for you guys to go ahead and remember me? Yeah,
Okay.
but that was a good Frozen, right? Like that was a good Frozen.
Oh
You
yeah,
did very
no, I
well.
thought it was real. Yeah,
So-
it's good. Okay.
So Nick, we have your audio.
we have the
Jay
video
got it.
actually. We'll play
we
the
got
whole
the
video. We'll play the
Audio's
video.
not dead. I would definitely just do the audio.
We're gonna go ahead and do the video. We're gonna set up the video. We're gonna show everything.
That's what I wanted you to do. That's awesome.
Well, wait,
Sorry,
no, we can
uh,
just play audio. What are you comfortable with? Just audio?
I'm more comfortable with the audio, largely due to the fact that the video I just didn't look my best that day, but the audio, I mean, I always sound pretty good. So.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to switch to the video to get the audio going for a second. But what I think I'll do is I'll just black that little
Yeah.
transition editing stuff out on the screen with our beautiful Who Invited Will logo, whoinvitedwill.com.
I was gonna
Shameless
ask
plug.
one thing to Nick. So you're ready to go, Jay? Whenever.
Yeah, I mean, I have it up on VLC, so I can play it whenever.
Okay.
Did you want to?
So, Nick, is there anything you want to tell us? Because we have not listened to this audio at all. You sent it to me. I have not listened to it. We've only forwarded it on to the other hosts. Is there anything you want to tell us about the audio that we should know before going into the stand-up?
In regards to what's going on in the background, like how did I go ahead and make up the stand-up? Like what do you want?
Oh wait, no,
just
wait. Well,
anything you-
Anything?
I was gonna say, why don't you? There's somebody who introduces you. Why don't you introduce your introducer?
So the person who's introducing me is my boyfriend. He is funny in his own mind. I think that maybe the first line that he comes up with is clever. And he'll go ahead and say that he is taking credit for a lot of these jokes, but I'm the one who's delivering them. So I guess at the end of the day, then the credit's going to be mine, right?
He's a writing partner. He's a writer. Right. He's a writer.
He is there in spirit.
I
There in
see.
spirit. And I guess pen as well, but the spirit was the more important
The
part.
spirit is mightier than the pen. They always say.
They
I thought-
always say that. I could quote it a million times.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and jump
Yeah.
into
Without
it.
further ado, let's hear it. So let me. For our audience, you're gonna see our logo for a second, and I'm gonna start it now. Here we are, Nick Salazar.
Not giving you a look. All right, you ready to do this or what?
Just tell me when I should go.
Okay. Wait, you want me to introduce you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Just
All right, our next guest up, you guys may know him as Nick Salazar. I remember from the Rikers days. You guys might notice him. The envy of every priest in Catholic school in New Mexico, Nick Salazar.
thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. So let's just go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. This sucks. Like every day seems like the exact same thing. So I'm a teacher by trade. And I never thought that anything could be worse than dealing with a bunch of combative teenagers, but Corona shattered that myth. Let me go ahead and talk to you about a recent conversation that I had with one of my students. It went something like this. So they go ahead and log in. It's a Google Meet grid view, and you're allowed to see every single one of your students at a time. You see Sally over here, Johnny over here. But last week, during first period, Daniel went ahead and showed up, without a shirt on, mind you, with a marijuana pipe in the background on his desk. Daniel, what's that pipe doing in the background? Oh, my bad, Mr. Salazar, it's my brother's. Turns off the camera, puts it on mute, and I know exactly what you're thinking. Like, the nerve of this guy to go ahead and make a mockery out of the situation. And to be honest, I find it rude that I had to go out of my way to hide my pipe, but he couldn't do the same for me. So, beyond teaching, I'm catching up with some quality television. I don't know how many of you are watching the latest episode of what I like to call Staring at the Wall, but I'm not going to give away any spoilers on the newest season. Let's just say it involves a spider in the corner. But seriously, this exposes both old and new hobbies. I know, it is pretty funny. So for example, I never thought that my frat, Alpha Tau Omega, would prepare me for the COVID crisis. When people post on Insta how they think it's impressive they can get through 30 cases in a week, I'm over here like, girl, that's a typical Monday.
I love the laugh track.
So beyond my questionable drinking habits, I'm starting to help walk my boyfriend's dogs. How many of you in the audience have pets? Okay, that's a healthy show of hands. Dogs are great. They wag at you, they lick you, and don't talk back. It's everything you would want in a successful marriage, right?
Nice.
But seriously, what I'm starting to realize is that it's not all that fun. For example, walking them is a chore, and it can be pretty stressful. They yank at your arm if they see another dog. They stop and sniff literally everything. But the worst is when they stop and hunch their back. You know that you are about to pick up a big pile of shit.
Every time.
You have to get your glove out, bend down, tie up the bag, find a garage, and in the midst of all of this, the dog goes back to square one. And the shit is hot and stinky, but it could be worse. At least this shit I'm picking up isn't from a box inside of my house. Which brings me to my next point. Fuck cat people.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm actually going to call them poopy paw people. Like, seriously, you allow your cat to poop in a sandbox, then walk all over the counter, getting their poopy paws all over the food, their
Wait, something stopped. Is that it?
I think that's it.
I think it
That was
died.
the first
That's
video.
it? Oh, I
got
think
cut
the video
off.
cut out. No, there was more.
Hold on.
There was another video, but
Do the second video. You have
he
to.
doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. I
Send-
only sent one video.
Oh
Send it
well,
to me.
I sent you both.
Yeah, well, that was a good enough. That was a lot.
No, there's
of
more.
stand-up.
There's more.
There's more. But we're
Hey,
not
let's
feeling-
say thanks to It's been great having you on the show. No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
ridiculous. All right.
Says the video is too long.
We can bring you on for another episode if you want to go ahead.
Oh, is that it?
That's it. That was your stand-up.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you
So
send in
what?
2
Wait,
videos,
wait,
I
wait. Did
think
you have like a
can
big
watch
closer or something that we missed?
Well, I mean, that's the grand hurrah. So my next question is like, you know, do I get called back? Am I gonna like get a second try at this? Like,
Well,
Yeah.
what's happening?
Sure. I mean,
Go
I
ahead,
think
Jay.
we'll get through the first try, but yeah, I mean, it would be nice to like once things open up, if you could do maybe some of the jokes, we could hear some of the jokes like in front of an audience. Although I really like the laugh track.
I think it was that good.
Well,
Like,
I think
can actually do it like live.
I think your delivery was very good actually, which I think
I don't know if Nick is gonna want to be on the show after we finish critiquing him. I think we should do that first, and then see if he wants to come back.
I think too, I would say that in general, I don't necessarily think that it's critiquing. It's more group writing.
yeah. Hmm. It's like
that-
we're all amateurs. We
Yeah.
haven't made
We're
it as
just trying
comics,
to-
so we don't have like enough knowledge to offer you a formal critique. But I think it's just a way to kind of work on some of the stuff with us. Hopefully, you could get to the point where you wanted to take it on stage. If you wanted to take it, if you wanted to redo and like, tune up some of the jokes or change some of them and come back on here and do it again, I think we would be open to that. What do you guys? I mean,
for sure.
we're booked, a few weeks out, but we're probably going to need guests to come back on, and it would be great to see them evolve. So
I don't know. I'm gonna have to check the planner. I think we're pretty booked up.
Like the Simon Cowell of the three of you. The Simon Cowell. Neil Cowell. Neil Cowell Schneider.
last week I was the Simon Cowell for sure.
Oh, wow.
But I think
you're
this
so
week
nice
it's
and friendly today.
yeah,
I
no, I'm feeling good today. Last week I was just in kind of a little mood, and I was just like, you know what, Will's not funny. No, actually, it wasn't that. I think I came across harsh, but honestly, I think part of wanting to give harsh criticism, it's nothing to do with whether you think the person's funny or not. I think you're
For
funny,
sure.
Nick, just from like hanging
Yeah.
out with you and joking around
Yeah,
with you.
you know me off the set. Yeah.
Right, and so it's just wanting the person's material to get better. So you want to give them the harsh feedback up front, so that they get that. Just because like the worst feeling is when you're up on stage and no one laughs and you bomb and you feel uncomfortable. So it's like it's better to get the harsh feedback in this kind of like group writing setting, and then like when we think, yeah, this is good to like try out on stage. I wouldn't just like show it to small groups of people. I think eventually you have to jump off the cliff, but hopefully this is like building some stairs onto the cliff so you're not jumping so far, because I think open mics can be really intimidating. I was like terrified the first time I did it, and the second time I was like half as terrified, but still more terrified than I am like 99% of the time in my life. So, yeah.
Will, why don't you start us off with what you thought about his stand-up?
Oh, wait, I should probably go because I don't want to hear this live. Also, I have to go eat dinner. So this is going to be...
No, we're
you
gonna
just
critique.
posted.
No, you're not going anywhere. Will, go ahead.
If you
Yeah,
have 5 more minutes, maybe
Yeah.
5 to 10 minutes, then we'll
he was
we'll
kidding.
critique with you just so we can. Wait, was he kidding?
He was kidding.
No.
Okay, Will, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't get it. I agree. I like the delivery. I think I liked the first joke the best. That caught me off guard, and maybe it was that they seemed like last week. It seemed I kind of had the same thing where there were really long setups, and then just for like one punchline. So I feel like there could be a lot of trimming involved in a lot of those, and they could be kind of more one-liners or just kind of trimmed down a little bit. But I guess you could also have like what else you had in the background. I think it's funny. So you can actually smoke, or I don't know. I guess I didn't realize teachers can. You guys don't get drugs.
Oh, yeah, it's legal. It's absolutely legal. Yeah.
That's cool.
I've never really understood why people always discriminate against teachers. Like, I've never really got that. Because even people today are like, teachers, blah, 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 blah. Like, maybe people back in the day, I'm not saying you, but had like this really bad or terrible experience with teachers. Like, I don't know why, Oh, yeah. Teachers can absolutely smoke. Heroin, coke, all of it.
All of it.
I mean,
Heroin,
also,
coke,
something,
crack,
right?
yeah, everything. What was that?
Wow.
I mean, I felt like. Oh, go ahead.
Like it was just a joke, like a teacher joke. Like, I have to get through the afternoon. Like, how am I going to get through the Oregon Trail this year?
Yeah, you just figure out which kids have older brothers. You know what I mean? And then you just hit them up, and they sell you weed in class, and then you just take a puff, and you get through the rest of the day, and that's
This actually really
perfectly
isn't
legal.
going to be published, right? Like, I'm just totally kidding. Ha!
Yeah,
Totally playing.
No, we got about
it's a
we got
comedy
about
podcast,
1,000
guys. We're
subscribers.
joking about the copious amounts of drug use. If that
we
wasn't
just
already
had,
apparent.
the Boulder superintendent subscribe to our channel. So
Oh, Rob Anderson.
hopefully he-
Hi, Rob. Hey, Rob. How you doing?
Rob, thanks for subscribing, Rob. Nick, I thought you did. I feel like your form of comedic humor, even off doing stand up, is storytelling, and I could definitely get that sense with the audio that we heard today. And I think you do a really good job of kind of acting it out, being passionate when you talk. And I thought that was great for the first joke. I thought that what Will said, that pipe joke, was really funny. The spider joke, I think it was like the second or third joke with the wall. The punchline didn't land with me. I
It
don't
just
know.
didn't get there.
I mean, it was funny
I
talking. I think you could have ended the joke. Are you gonna talk over me? Are you gonna talk over me, Nick? No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, it's okay.
Okay. So I think you could have ended the joke when you said the wall. Like I thought it was everyone was laughing when you just said the wall, and I think it could have ended there. But then you brought in,
So I drew it out.
Yeah, you drew it out.
It didn't need to be drawn out.
I
don't
disagree with that.
What do you think, Jay?
Disagree.
Yeah, well, no, I like the wall joke. I like the spider. Maybe just like, I don't know. Maybe you could add a couple more things like, it's like, in next episode there's a scuff mark on the paint or something, or like, I don't know. I kind of like that one. I thought
the light bulb needs to be replaced.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? The painting's crooked. Dump the drama. You know what I mean? Like something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm funny, guys.
But that's good. And the
You see
story
what I'm
behind
saying?
that was it's relatable, right? Like we're all going through this right now.
And everyone's gonna be like, I think that's the thing about post COVID material. Like some podcasts I was listening to, they were talking about how, like, I think Bill Burr was saying, actually, he was saying like the connection with the audience is gonna be so strong because everyone's just gone through the same exact thing. So like everyone's gonna be doing jokes about the quarantine, but everyone's gonna be getting those jokes too.
Yeah.
So I think
it's gonna be hilarious as hell.
Yeah, it's very topical. One joke I wanted to talk about in terms of your delivery was the cat joke. I feel like that was a long setup, but I almost feel like you could make that the explanation of like poopy paws or whatever if you're like kind of acting it out or maybe pantomiming it or just like making it more ridiculous, like poop, there's poop on there's poop on your hands, it's like you're touching
everywhere.
this with poop, there's poop on this, it's everywhere, and it's like that could, I don't know, I think with the delivery it's almost like lean into that delivery where you want to like exaggerate things or you want to like draw like pantomime things, because that could, I could see it funny if you're like imitating the cat. You're like, oh, poop here, poop there, or something like that,
Yeah, and I think for me, I never. Well, you brought up like you having to pick up the dog shit or dog poop, but then going inside, in my head, the first thing I went to was, well, at least I'm not having to pick it up with my hands. But then, yeah, that's a good point. That then they're just walking all over your house. Yeah, I mean, animals are pretty gross, actually.
And
we do animals for them.
And
dogs are awesome.
You could do like the hunch pose as you're you could imitate what the dog looks like, and that would be just like a funny physical kind of comedy thing to like show you hunching. Oh, he's doing this, and you start hunching, and then like looking over your shoulder or something, like how dogs kind of look at you while they're shitting. That's funny. The one criticism I would have though, like just from my my opinion, I don't want to sound like I know more than I know, but from my opinion, I think some of the like the level of jokes, like the actual like cat and dog stuff or like whatever, it's kind of like it's not really unique to you personally. Like it doesn't really say anything about who you, Nick Salazar, are and your like unique experience. It's like all of it was really relatable, but then if you go too relatable, it's like, oh, these premises are too general. Whereas like you probably could bring in stuff that's going to be really just like uniquely your perspective. And the feedback I've always heard is that was what separates one comic from the next comic. Like anyone could tell jokes about walking their dog or their cat, but then how do you make that very uniquely yours? Is it through the style of way you're presenting it? Maybe through like incorporating details that are just going to be like very uniquely how you would see the world, or it could just be like premises that only you could think of because they're real life experiences you've had that likely no one else has had. So it's like, that's what I would maybe get you just thinking about is like, how can you make these jokes from like general things that are funny that everyone's going to get and everyone's going to laugh at to things that are like also relatable, but very uniquely you. So people are going to remember you, not just remember like, oh yeah, the dog stuff was funny. To be like, oh man, he's funny. Like it's so weird how he would have experienced this thing I've experienced a million times, but I've never seen it that way. You know,
and that's that's why I think your first joke landed so well, because it was talking about teaching. You were bringing it about you.
I agree, 100%.
And it was, I think, without a doubt, your best joke of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so funny when I first. Yeah, that was
exactly.
Good.
It was something that I couldn't see coming, or I couldn't predict where you were going with it, because I'm not a teacher and I haven't been teaching on Zoom. So it's just then you're like, he had to hide his pipe, and you're like, and I, and I did the, courtesy of hiding my pipe. Like that really resonated with me personally too. So yeah, I think Neil.
Yeah, and I feel like you're going to have a lot more. Yeah, in general, I'm sure you got all kinds of stories from kids doing crazy things or just all the shenanigans that even the teachers get into, behind the scenes that people don't ever think of. Like, you don't think of your teacher getting trashed on a Monday. Like, I like that too. Like I finished 30 rack today. So, I mean, that's the normal after school special. You know?
In a way, I think you could have made that marriage joke, which I'm at right now. I think you've got something going. I'm not a fan of the way it's set up now. I'm just saying. I know I may be coming off harsh. I'm not a big fan of the way it's written now. But if you relate it, you can talk about, hey, I'm newly into a relationship, and make it about yourself, and then use some sort of punchline of, relationships are not always perfect, marriages are not always perfect, but blah, 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 and list the things that we all want. And I mean, I'm not saying it the right way. It's just out of my head.
Wow, that was really funny.
I get it.
That was really funny, Neil.
Better than your jokes last week. So anyway.
Wait, you were, this is Neil last week. Will, I just wanted to say to you that Florida joke was the most perfect joke that ever has been crafted by a comedian of all time.
I told him his first
We have it on
joke-
tape, Neil. We have it on tape.
His first joke was a disaster. So anyway, this isn't about Will. Nick, let's give him Jay, Will, let's give him bomb, killer, survive. Someone go first.
I'll go survive. I'll put. I think you got a few. You got a few laughs from some of us. Other jokes maybe didn't resonate as well, but there's good stuff in there. There's good premises, and I would just reiterate the feedback. Just make it more personal. Tell jokes that no one else could tell is what the phrase I heard. And that's how people will remember you, because they'll always remember that joke that you told. That's just like, I've never heard anyone tell that before. Because they couldn't tell it before because it's your life, or it's coming from your perspective.
Yeah, I would also go with survive. I really appreciate you being brave enough to be our first guest on the show, and the fact that you've never done stand up before to still send something in is, I applaud. The courage to do that, and thank you.
Yeah, great first effort, I think. Totally.
I haven't given anyone this rating yet, so I want to congratulate you. I'm giving out my first bomb of the show. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm giving you a survive. It takes a lot. You get to survive. I don't think you killed it. If you had more of those, the weed jokes, if you have 4 of those bangers, that's a kill.
Yeah.
If it would have been just that one joke, I would have given you a kill. I would have just.
I don't think anyone's killed yet, though, Nick. Just so you know, no. I did not kill. Will did not kill. So like, nobody's earned a kill yet. So like, whoever first earns a kill, it'll be a big moment. So don't feel bad that you didn't kill. None of us have.
Well, I look forward to being the first in that category. Hey, I'm looking at my calendar. You all want to have me back when?
I'm gonna go ahead. We'll talk off the set, and we'll see what we can do. We're really booked up. Might be a few
years.
Yeah, 2022. So
Neil might be president before. He might be president in 2044 before we have you on. But
Nick is a big supporter of my presidency.
I'm actually running against him.
Wait.
I'm actually legitimately going to run against him, and I'm going to beat him.
Wait, what's your platform? Can you just give us a few highlights?
Yeah, that's your platform.
Wait, you went muted. Hold on. I
muted him.
Oh my God, he muted you. That's
a great platform. That's a really
wait.
It's very scary when my political opponent wants to silence his critics. That's exactly what you're going to get with the Schneider administration. That's exactly what you're going to get if you go ahead and pull the lever for someone that you know.
All right.
You have to say.
All right. It's good to have you on the show. Thanks for coming.
Dangerous. I think it's dangerous too. No, I want to hear more political opinions, but Nick, we'll have you on again. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you coming on.
All right. See everyone later.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Take care.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, now it's awkward. That was great. I think he was a great guest. I really, really liked what he had to say about politics. Something about that guy's message, especially the anti-Schneider stuff, really
That's funny because don't you own a Schneider 44 shirt?
Well, I'm about to go throw it in the trash and then Sharpie over it and say Nick Salazar.
The only reason I bought
2044.
it. Yeah, the only reason I bought it is so I could burn it live on my Gram story.
No, actually, I love that T-shirt. It fits so well. It's it's super soft. It feels nice. Yeah.
The design is awesome.
Yeah.
I can't. It's annoying to show the back, but
Do it. Show the back. Show the back.
It says send it for the farmers. Oh, you can't really see.
Yeah, there it is. There
So
it is.
dozens of people actually have it. Dozens of people. So if you want one, DM me at Neil_Schneider. Let's jump to our advice segment, shall we, boys?
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
You got some advice for us, Nick? Neil?
I got a problem for you.
Uh-oh.
I got a problem for you.
Well,
and
let's
here's
hear
another
it.
problem we tend to be having right now. We don't have a name for the segment. So please, anyone who's watching this show, please help us out here. Send us a comment on our YouTube or our Instagram page. Boys, here's the first problem.
Let's hear
You
it.
ready?
I'm ready.
Hello, boys. Big fan of the show.
Ooh.
Well, I know who it is now. We only have one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks for sending in a question, Mom.
Before quarantine, I was working, lifting weights, playing tennis, and I slept 8 to 9 hours solid every night. Now I'm falling asleep and waking up at 11 p.m., midnight, and I'm not going back to sleep until around 3 or 4 a.m. How can I fix this? I'm not sleeping well at all. Hashtag quarantine sleep sucks.
Neil, do you want to go first?
You guys go ahead. You guys.
Oh,
No, no, please, Neil.
you should go.
Why don't you go?
What is that called? Okay, I'll go. I forgot what it's called. It's like circadian rhythm, something
Yes,
like that.
circadian
Yeah.
rhythm.
Their circadian rhythm sounds to be dramatically off right now, and they're not getting enough sleep. So what I'm thinking
That's in the
person's
that's in
not
the
doing,
question.
because I've been going circadian, right? Is that what I
Circadian.
said? That's what I said.
Yeah.
So
How do you spell it?
STFU. Is that how you spell it? Okay.
That is
So-
incorrect.
That is correct. So anyway, I was having this problem when quarantine first started as well, because I've been working from home. I haven't been getting outside enough, and I was really doing a lot of things when we weren't in quarantine. I'd always go play golf or tennis, or I'd be outside, and I think that's what this person might be missing. I think this person needs to go get natural sunlight, be outside, get out of the house, even if it's for your lunch break. You need to go and do something outside and get back to working out, maybe go for a run. And what I was doing, I was working from home, and I was like staying in bed a lot when I was working from home, just reading and stuff like that. I was still working.
Sure you are.
But I get out of bed, because your body is going to get used to being in bed, and you're never going to be able to sleep at night. In that case, if you're going to be in bed, it should either be for sleeping or doing the hibbity dibbity. All right, one of the two, because hibbity dibbity,
The
hibbity dibbity is an exercise.
You talking about the
So
hibbity
only
dibbity?
sleeping for Neil?
So just for me, sleeping. But if you're in a relationship
Yeah.
and you have a significant other, hibbity dibbity, that's exercise. I'll allow it. You can be in bed for that.
So
So
this
so more sex is what I'm recommending, and I think you'll sleep better.
this
Jay?
dovetails really well. This dovetails really well with my advice, because there's one surefire way to fall asleep, and that's masturbation. Now, what you have to do is when you start getting restless, just start masturbating, and then when you finish masturbating, don't clean up, don't do anything, just close your eyes and let the or maybe do it into a shirt and then just throw the shirt off the bed, or do it into a sock, and then just let the natural adrenaline going down of when you're done, coming, and then it'll just take you right into dream world. But you just gotta masturbate and then close your eyes and then don't even do anything after that.
I thought you were going to say just let the filth cover your body and go to sleep.
No, you gotta do it onto a shirt or onto something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can't just be doing it onto your own body. That's weird.
I mean, that's how I do it.
Well, guys, I never said this was a
Well, that's
guy or a
gross.
girl. I don't know why we're assuming this.
Okay,
person's
well, if you're a
man.
girl
Women
and
can
you
masturbate?
and you
a girl
squirt,
can't masturbate into a sock.
squirt into a shirt. If you're a girl,
Is that how they do it?
just squirt in a shirt. All right. That's
Today
all
in
I'm
Neil
saying.
Women's Anatomy.
Squirt in a shirt, he says. Okay, Will.
Well, Chris D'Elia recently said that it cured his restless leg syndrome at night. Chris
Masturbating?
D'Elia, yeah, he's like, I started masturbating and it stops my leg from being restless.
Was he not masturbating before?
Well, what I'm saying is when he gets restless leg syndrome when he's going to bed, he now just masturbates. And I think this is probably, masturbation we all know has many benefits. One, prostate health, and if you're a woman, probably the equivalent of what women have instead of a prostate health. And also one of the benefits is sleep. And so, yeah, that's my advice. Just
All right.
Just pound one out, bang one out, rub one out, jerk one out, stroke one out,
William?
Flick the bean one out.
Flick the bean one out.
Yes. I think the person, I like where you guys are coming from. Of course, the more exercise sounds like they're really active before and aren't now. Really what it comes down to me is you might just need to stay up and force yourself. Are you taking naps during the day? Like, what are you doing? If you're getting tired during the day and you're sleeping, no wonder you can't sleep at night. So you just got to force yourself to maybe have a real bad night of you staying up till the entire night. And then for sure enough, I think it would restart your system and you'd be good to go going forward.
Team no nap. I agree with Will. Definitely no naps. That cannot be happening. We
All
good?
right.
You guys, anything else for our
No, let's
person?
hear the next one. Keep them
Next
coming.
one. This
Keep
is
'em
a
coming.
little
I'm
bit more
feeling it today.
intense.
Rapid fire.
This one's intense. You ready? Make
Okay.
sure everyone's sitting down.
No. Yes. Okay, I'm
Make sure you're
sitting down.
Okay. I'm a small business owner with 11 full-time employees. Due to COVID-19, we were ordered to shut down. We have now been given the green light by the city to resume operations. My employees, however, have filed for unemployment, and along with the additional $600 per week they are receiving from the stimulus bill. Yes, yeah. They filed for unemployment along with the additional $600 per week they are receiving from the stimulus bill. As a result, they are making more money not working than they would if I hired them back. The question is, how do I handle an employee who doesn't want to come back to work and make less money than he or she can by not working? I can't afford to have upset, disgruntled employees dealing with customers while being pissed off that I made them come back to work to make less. How do I handle this? The kicker is that I have received $144,000 from the government's payroll protection program. If I don't use it for payroll and other things, in 8 weeks, I have to begin paying interest on the money. So I really need to use the money up. But like I said, I don't want to force my good longtime employees to return when they have asked to not come back for fear of the virus they claim. I know the real reason is that they're making more money not working. Do I be a dick or what do I do?
Wow, that is
Of that $140,000, I guess, is it in the budget to just pay them more? I don't know. That's the first thing that comes.
I think that's up to the employer. I think that's what he should do. I think that's a big thing. Like give them hazard pay or a sign on welcome back bonus.
For me, I don't know. I think that it really comes down to too is recognizing that this is a temporary thing and putting it in like not only empathizing with them, but making sure that they are empathizing with you. Like, this is my business. If you want a job after this, we have to work because I can't afford to be out of business this long. So I get the whole, I'm making enough money just sitting on my ass, but I think that also comes down to maybe a little bit of character too of, hey, I can't do this. That's not sustainable for everyone to just be not working.
Let's be honest, Will and Jay, if you guys were if you were making more money not working than working, what would you do? Honestly.
Sit on my ass.
Definitely. and if you said, Jay, what would you do? Same?
sit right on my ass, Neil.
Yeah. And anyone who says differently is a damn liar, okay?
Agreed.
So I don't blame these people for not going back
care.
to work. However, they need an incentive, obviously. That's the big thing. Give them
Agreed.
a bonus. Jay?
Well, guys, honestly, I think there's probably only one solution to this, and that is masturbation. Now, whenever I'm stressed at work or about work, I masturbate. And masturbation, as we know, has many benefits. One of the benefits is it lowers cortisol, which is a stress hormone that's produced by the brain. And so if he gets worried about his employees and this loan and all these other things that you mentioned, which are very important, and the economic consequences of COVID have been well documented, I think the first thing he needs to do before he calls his employees or does anything is masturbate. And then I'm pretty sure after his cortisol is lowered, his stress is gone, he'll be able to make a clear decision
Jay,
about what to do.
Preferably not in front of your employees as well.
No Louis C.K.'s. All right,
But
no
Jay,
C.K.'s, no Me Too's.
You got to remember, Jay, he doesn't have restless leg syndrome. Okay,
Yeah.
That's not the problem here.
He has restless employee syndrome though, which I've heard is almost as devastating.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Anything else he should do?
No, I think you guys covered it. I mean, maybe offering them an incentive bonus is right, but I think it's like, this isn't gonna last forever. The unemployment thing's not gonna last forever. So it's like you don't want to get to the end of that unemployment and not have a job. Maybe he needs to just start. I don't know if he brings everyone back, but he needs to maybe just talk to them and say, hey, this isn't gonna last forever. Why don't we set a timeline for when you can come back and when we can open this up? I don't know.
I think that helps, but he's got this money he's got to spend.
So we should give him a bonus, maybe, right?
Is that the only thing? Is that all we got? Bonuses and
Well, I would also say one thing.
I said masturbation. I mean,
one thing they're worried about the corona, like safety. There's certain things that he could use that money for to then maybe make the work environment safer for them, or ask them what their concerns are. And
smart. I'm doing that the GIF thing.
Yeah, exactly. So then you could make it so that then it sounds like it just needs to be about communication and letting them know, or seeing what their concerns are, sending out a survey. I wonder what kind of
what's happening? Neil, are you okay?
The chip.
Your chip malfunction.
Elon Musk chip malfunction. Tesla stock is gonna plummet after people see this podcast. I'm telling you.
Yeah, hopefully. Fuck Tesla. I'm gonna put it out there.
Real quick on the whole Tesla thing. Now I understand why that stock has skyrocketed, because cars, compared to like spaceships and putting chips into people's brains, cars are simple. I get it. He's probably has some great ideas for. Did you hear the Roadster? How fast it goes 0 to 60?
2 seconds.
Less.
1.9.
Oh.
Less than 1.9.
The Roadster, I think, is 1.5. 0 to 60. And anyone can buy it.
All the chip in the brain. I'm going to space. I'm building tunnels. All that shit is just to sell cars. It's all marketing. He's marketing himself as this, like I said, this super genius. And yeah, I don't know if we have anything else on that advice. I think that was good. But do we want to say anything else before I get on a rant about?
Go for it.
Okay.
Hit him with it.
Elon Musk sending the fucking car into space with the gold record and the little astronaut suit and all the other crazy shit he does. It's just his way of marketing his cars, because what he realizes is, in people's minds, Tesla and Elon Musk are one thing, right? You like that? One thing, all right? Mm-hmm. They're one thing. And so if people like Elon Musk, Will's signaling the Illuminati. If people like Elon Musk, or if Elon Musk is famous, then his cars are going to get more attention. And even though it's like everybody says, there's no such thing as bad publicity. If you're in the news, if people are talking about what Elon Musk thinks about fucking COVID, even though he's not a doctor and probably knows fucking nothing about it, and he's a billionaire, so isolating, I'm sure, is like the best experience of our lives would be isolating at Elon Musk's house, or one of his 7 houses, I guess he has. But my point is just,
them all.
It's all this like I'm an eccentric genius stuff is, to me, it's all just him trying to sell cars, and cars that aren't necessarily better for the environment, aren't necessarily more affordable, aren't necessarily perform better. It's just like, what keeps the cars in the news is Elon Musk being in the news, and that's what I think all of it is.
Do you know one thing I'd like to do in those cars though?
Have sex, masturbate. Yeah, I would masturbate all over a Tesla, dude.
I'm glad
right on the windshield.
Our masturbation episode 3. Who invited Will to the masturbate party?
Yeah.
Anywho,
guys, I mean, I think this was a good episode. I mean, I like Nick. I think he's funnier than either of you two. I should have asked him to be a co-host, actually.
Yeah, it was. That's what I found was so surprising. Or not surprising, but I felt like during conversation, he was just as funny, if not funnier, than the stand-up. Like, he comes off naturally funny, and he had some good one-liners, even just talking. So I think the talent is there, and there's just that personal approach, I think, is going to be really important.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like one thing to be funny naturally, and a whole other thing to actually like have to write comedy that has to be funny, like repeatable, replicatable over different audiences, and it's easy when you're with people who are funny and you're like making jokes and you're snapping to like
That's what
be funny.
That's what Neil claims why he's never done stand up, everyone, because he's just naturally funny, and I don't think I could do that on stage.
I think viewers, you please let us know if you think Neil would be funny on stage. I think that's the question we need to ask.
Sorry, Jay. Did I say it like that, Will? I'm naturally funny. Like I said, like that.
I'm naturally funny, but like I just don't know if I could do it in a joking kind of way.
I'm more of an improv guy. I'm more of a reactional to the situation kind of humor. But you know what, Will? If you're challenging me, I'm just gonna have to bring it. Well, we will do stand up. I will.
When?
I mean, we're pretty booked. Our schedule's very booked, so it may be a couple years, but I will. I will perform.
I think an episode that would be fun is if we all did an open mic together and then we like tried to have people say who they thought was better. Like if we actually get enough people listening and being engaged to have them vote on something. But I don't know. I think it would be funny to like.
But I don't want to beat my two friends. Like that's not fun for me.
Yeah, I mean, it won't. Won't happen. So you won't have any fun.
I don't know what two friends is he referring to. I didn't know. Are you talking about us, like me and Jay?
Yeah.
So what do you think, guys?
I didn't know we were friends.
I don't have anything else. I'm pretty much talked out, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm done. I got nada.
This was a goodie. I think we're getting better at this, honestly. That's what I want to say. Yeah.
I am 44.
I am not a crook.
Look, 44. That's 44, right?
Nope, that's VV or 22.
No, anyway.
Oh, I see.
5.
This is
That's
40.
5.
This is 44.
44.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Episode 3 in the books. Please remember, before I say episode in the books, to subscribe. What do you mean? Okay. Oh, okay. We gotta plug ourselves, Will. If we don't promote ourselves, who will? Huh? Who invited Will?
Will, you think I'm just gonna let you stand there and plug me, Will? You think you're just gonna let me?
Hey Will, are you still there? No, so that's my John Jones impression. Hey Will, are you still there?
Hey, UFC, let's go. Come on.
Yeah, we got to watch the fights. All right, so follow us on YouTube at whoinvitedwill.com. That will lead you to our YouTube site. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. And, of course, our Instagram handle at whoinvitedwill. Please, we need listeners. We need viewers. We love you guys. We know you love us. So let's go. And with that, I'll say episode 3 in the books. Thank you, Nick, for joining us. And see you later. Adios. Bye, guys.
44.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right.
That was the best one by far.
Oh, I think that was by far the worst.
What? Personally, maybe. But I think
that was second best. I still like the last episode better.